Welcome back. Today, let's do a quick tutorial on how to sync our audio with our video. Again, I record my video with my iPhone, but I record my audio with my Blue Yeti mic, which is a really awesome microphone. So I want to record them separately, but I have to sync them together. So what better way to sync them than to walk you through my process from ground zero, and I'll even put in a couple titles and things like that just to show you my work process. So I created a project in Final Cut Pro already, and the project is a 2880 by 1800. So I set that in the settings. In fact, let's just go ahead and do a new project, and I'll show you how I set that, because it's not. We'll just call this test project. I'm going to put in my event R programming. Use custom settings. And when you use custom settings, you have the video option here where it says 1080p. I always click on custom and I plug in 2880 by 1800. I'm not going to hit enter because I already have the project started. But the reason why I do that is because my actual MacBook screen is 2880 by 1800 and I am not losing a bit of quality. So you'll see some of the quality when I upload these to YouTube, that my screen looks so good even when I zoom in, and I do a lot of zooming in and zooming out. So, and honestly, my videos are short enough that it doesn't affect me. So I might not be the expert at this, but it works really good for me, and I'm okay with that. So right now we're in my R lesson 7, which is the same exact thing, 2880 by 1800. I'm going to go ahead and use the Finder to grab my files. I have files in the movies, that's where my audio is, and I have a file in the downloads. So my R sequence, I just recorded this a few minutes ago, drop that right in there, and then go back to my movies, and I'm going to grab the audio file from OBS. And I have a video about OBS settings and how to do all that. Now, why is that not working? All good questions, right? So we have an audio file. Oh, I'm an idiot. That's the one I'm recording right now. So anyways, let's do our sequences that I recorded just a few minutes ago. Drop this in here and I'll show you how I align them. And quick and dirty, here we go. So when I do my audio synchronization, I usually snap 3 times and I can see those spikes in the waveforms. As I'll zoom in and show you right here, I've got a couple snaps. You can see me snapping right here, and down in the audio you can see it's just not quite lined up. So first what I do, the first thing I do is I kind of get them close. Like, I know that I'm not going to pay attention to any of this stuff beforehand. In fact, I might have even snapped a couple times in here. I'm not sure. But let's just cut it down to size and get it somewhat close by eyeballing it. So I'm going to delete this and I'm going to delete this. And now we can kind of look at it and see, hey, that's pretty close. Command plus 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 will get these really closer aligned, and you can move these right over to be pretty much exactly together. A lot of times, almost every time actually, I click on this button and I go to audio only and I show it. I say, all right, so then I hit play and I wait till I talk so I can see if my, okay, so that's pretty close. I'm going to see if it can get any closer. Probably not. So, oh, there it is, a little bit closer. So the closer, the better, obviously. Much better. In fact, if you get it really close, your 2 audios are going at the same time and you won't hear any type of echo or anything. However, if it's off by just a smidge, you're going to hear a slight echo. So what you want to do, first, I'm going to Command minus just to look at the waveforms. Wow, those waveforms look really good, right? So instead of looking at waveforms, though, I'm going to go back to the original view that I like, which is something like this, so I can see both. And I know that I don't want the waveforms for the iPhone. The iPhone waveforms are not quite as good audio-wise, not even close. So I right-click, or whatever you want to call it, and I go to Detach audio right here. So I detach the audio and I simply just delete the audio. Now normally what I would do is I would reattach the audio to my clip here, except for the fact that I have a background, and actually I can do it, but I'm not going to. But normally you can detach this audio, you can click on both, and you can do a compound clip, which is basically, here, let's just do it. So detach audio. What I could do is I can click on this and command click on the audio, right click and do new compound clip, and that'll attach the audio. So when you do clip, when you actually blade or slice through clips, the audio and the video go away at the same time. I'm not going to do that only because I have a display that I also want to use from my screen capture. And now that we're lined up though, I can delete this section here. You just have to be very careful to keep your audio in sync though, if you don't attach them. So as you see, I have a green screen here. Let's just drop Chroma-Key right on that bad boy. I always get these two mixed up, by the way. So key in, key here right here, and just drop it on and you're good to go. Of course, you don't want it to quite look like this, so let's do a crop, a quick crop, and let's just crop this out as best we can. Sometimes it's not perfect, and there's masking and draw mask and things like that. You can see on the right hand side, I have to kind of cut off my shoulder a little bit. That's fine, but I like to try to keep it somewhat symmetric if I can. So there it is. Then don't forget to hit the little done button up here. When I first downloaded Final Cut Pro, I'm like, okay, I'm done cropping. What do I do? And that it's kind of hidden until you get used to it. Click on done. You're good to go. And then what I'll do is I'll transform. In fact, I don't really like how that looks when my shoulder's like that, so I'm going to lower myself actually to make it look like that. And of course I'm way too big, so actually why don't we just put the whole thing down there. Something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't forget to hit done, and once you're done with that, you can give it a quick once over. You can see I'm not quite ready yet. In fact, I'm not gonna, so this is something I'm going to show you too, is I'm going to actually uncrop part of it. So go back to crop, and I'm just going to drag this one over a tad bit more. I don't like how that shows up right there, so we can do something about that. Well, there's a couple things you can do about that. One, I can go to my keyer in the element inspector, or whatever this thing is called, and I can go to my tools, like mate tools, or whatever it's called, and I can drag this over until they kind of disappear a little bit. So it works good with the white background, but if you see me in a dark background, it's probably not going to work so good. So let's see how that looks. It looks like there's something in the corner there, like right here. I'm pretty sure that's part of the, let's go ahead and click transform again. Yeah, that's within. So if I move this around, that thing's going to move with me. So obviously we need to get rid of that. Perfect example to show you the draw mask feature. So while we're here, we'll draw the mask. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll click on me over here, come down to the search and just type in draw. And as you can see, it didn't show up, so it might be in this one. I never get these right the first time or the second time. So draw. Okay, the reason why it didn't show up is probably because it wasn't selected on all video and audio here. You're going to run into all these little things like that. It's going to drive you a little bit nuts. Anyways, let's drop this bad boy on there. And all I'm going to do is, now that it's dropped on there, if I move my cursor, you see it's changed. So it's changed to this, so I can draw on it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set boundaries. Click once, click twice, and you want to be somewhat far away from you so that if you move your head and all that, it doesn't quite mask anything that you don't want masked. And all that is saying, hey, computer, only look at what's inside of this, and that's it. And then to close it, you can see that little the difference between the plus sign and the circle. When I hit the circle, that means I'm closing the mask. Okay, close. We're done with that. As you can see, that little thing right there is gone. So it's pretty cool. Real simple and easy. I was going to show you some more things, but I think that's just the general gist of it. So now you can see I'm moving around, I'm snapping my fingers, and you probably can't hear the audio, but it seems to be very much synced. And that's it. That's how I do it. And of course, I use the high resolution, so I can zoom in and out, no problem. In fact, let's go ahead and drop in one more thing in there, like a title. So I go to mtuber, which is pretty cool. I've got all kinds of different titles I can use. I'm just going to use something like coming up next. Drop that on there, and you can see as soon as I drop it on there, I can type in whatever I want and say, this is R, and I'm teaching sequences and repeat. That's what I'm teaching. You can change the size, the duration, all those different things. And now when I play, of course, I'm not going to leave it like this, but that's just an idea of what one of the mtuber functions has. If you found this at all exciting, or if you just want to comment below and tell me what I did wrong and how you can do things faster with shortcut keys or whatever you want, add your input, but make sure you subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next video.